Kokona, Hiraki, back in, straight into that big backside nose
Nose grind. She does that trick better than anyone in the men or women's field. And there's that kick.
Kokona Hiraki is only 12 years old, and she took home the silver medal in the first time skateboarding has ever been at the Olympics. And what's incredible, Becky, is that she stood on the medal podium with 2 teenage girls. Now, these young women are changing the face of skateboarding, not just in Japan, but around the world.
There's no age limit. So, a little girl can be skating with someone who's, 40 years old, 30 years older than them. And so it's such a fun thing to do together.
Today we are speaking with 15-year-old world champion skateboarder Kokona Hiraki. And I'm super excited to speak with her because her innocence is so beautiful to witness, and her fearlessness is just something that I wish I could get back. And we have a lot to learn from Kokona.
Just to start, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kokona Hiraki. I'm from Japan, Hokkaido. I'm skateboarder.
Kokona, how did you get into skateboarding?
So I started skateboarding at the age of 5. It was my parents first suggested it to me, and they took me to a local skate park. And when I was there, I saw these, cool skaters skateboarding, and I wanted to be cool like that. So that's how I initially got in skateboarding.
How did you connect with skateboard, and what did you like about it?
Well, the reason why I got really super into skateboarding, I think, is because, there are so many tricks for skateboarding. It's endless. So once you, master one trick, then there's a new trick that I can try, and it just keeps on going and evolving. So that's what I think is super fun. And also initially when I wasn't very athletic to begin with. So a lot of sports I wasn't really good at. But skateboarding, I somehow got up to it relatively fast.
I know that skateboarding was a new sport in the Tokyo Olympics. So what are the things that most people they should know about your sport, and then what are the things that most people get wrong about skateboarding?
So in regards to what I want people to know about skateboarding is that it's just really fun to do so on. People want everyone to give it a try. And also there's no age limit, so a little girl can be skating with someone who's, 40 years old, 30 years older than them. And also another thing I want people to know about skateboarding is that there's just different aspects for skateboarding. There's, the contest scene where you see the Olympics and X Games. But on the other side, there's also a filmmaker side as well, more artistic factor to it. So I want people to, watch those skate videos and know that there's a skate world like that as well, not just a contest.
How does she express her creativity through the other side of skateboarding?
I think a lot of skaters will do the same, but I post on Instagram more like the non-contest stuff that I skate at my local skate park. That is more the fun stuff. And also, when I have a chance to speak with the media, I try to express that point as much as possible and have that opportunity.
I know you're one of the younger athletes, so I believe you're 15 years old. What are some of the challenges and opportunities of being such a young athlete?
So with, the challenges, I'm not so sure if age has to do with this. For me there's always a language barrier when I understand I can speak, but I still can't speak as much. Language was very tough for me, and skateboarding just in general in the context, seeing if you want to stay. I'm sure it's the same with other sports too. But if I want to stay on the podium, then you need to keep practicing every day to be on the skateboard. So that's kind of what kind of challenges. But in terms of the opportunity, there's no age limit. So, you could start skateboarding like me at 5 years old and potentially compete at that age before even becoming a teen at the Olympics. But for me, I think being able to travel abroad and see the world at such a young age is such a great opportunity, a great experience for me that I don't think a lot of people can have.
you won your first Olympic medal in your home country. What did it feel like?
In the beginning, it just felt surreal. It didn't really hit me as well because I didn't think I could, and be honest. Once I started getting a lot of comments and messages from everyone, from the fans and friends and family, it started becoming more real. And once I got back home and went to my home skate park, everyone was congratulating me there. And that's when it really hit me, and had these opportunities to put the media exposed, you're increasing and stuff. That's when it really kind of hit to me that I actually won a medal at the Olympics.
After winning the medal, would you say that you feel a little bit more pressure on your shoulders as you're heading to your second Olympics? Or do you feel like it's just fun and you'll just train hard and get there again?
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel the extra pressure just because I won a medal in the previous games. But it's true that the women's park scene is the progression is very crazy. So in order for me to stay on top of the game, I need to keep up with the progression as well. So that's something I think that's the tough part. And when I usually go into a contest, what I think of the first isn't about the podium or anything, is just being able to do the runs or tricks that I want to do, and for me to be satisfied with what I give out there. So that's the first thing I prioritize when I go to the contest.
Kokona, you mentioned focusing on the joy of skateboarding and not necessarily focusing on the results as much. What advice would you give to young athletes who are struggling with that balance?
For anyone that's, in the contest scene or just starting skateboarding as well, I just want those people to understand that yes, I contest, there is a ranking, so there is a winner and a loser, but rather than trying to do the tricks that would win, I think it's important to do the tricks that suits you or that you feel is your own style, and that, just because someone did this who's winning is doing a certain trick. I don't think you necessarily have to do those tricks, or you have to only do those tricks. And I think being able to kind of focus more on your own style would, relate to skating better in general. So I just want people to have fun and, do the tricks that you want to do and that you can have fun with. I also think that, if you do win, winning with your own style, rather than copying someone else's style request is more rewarding, I think, to yourself. And also I think it's a lot more fun for people that's just watching the contest suit, not having to see the same tricks, the same line at all times, but to have a variation and to be able to see different skaters, different style through their skateboarding. I think that's more entertaining as well. And for that reason, I like to, try and use the line that no other skaters are using, or do a trick at a section that no other skaters are doing in the contest. So that's why I want to kind of differentiate it and then show my own style.
You have such a leader mindset, and you are not afraid to be yourself authentically. And that is so cool because not everybody at your age is able to do that. What do you where do you think that's coming from? How did you cultivate that mindset?
I think it's probably because, where I started skateboarding in my home park in Hokkaido, the people around me, all the skaters around me that I was skating with, were 10 plus years older than me. And, they didn't have a lot of tricks, or they did crazy tricks, but they had their own style when they're doing certain tricks. And I think that's how I had evolved or initially started with, this emphasis on tricks. But for me, I wanted to go abroad and compete internationally in the contest, and that's why I started learning more new tricks. But also I used to watch a lot of skate videos. And that's where, a lot of the style aspect comes in, is being expressed very heavily. So I think that's kind of sad that nobody ever took it.
Kokona, I've seen you pick yourself up and cheer for so many other people all the time. How do you what is like your inner dialogue, or how do you pick yourself back up when you do fall, when you don't land those tricks, when things are not going according to plan?
In the contest scene, usually, there's only a limited number of runs you can do. So when I don't land it, and of course I'm bomb at the moment, but I just feel that it's my fault. I just need to push harder. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's just, I just have to improve myself, so I get fun, but I try not to expect that it affect me that long. And then I just kind of switch my mentality and cheer. Other skaters have moved on and just compete in regards to like the practice, saying I'm very stubborn. So I usually, a lot of times people around me tell me like, if I'm not landing a trick, they would say, oh, you should try something else. But I just have to keep going until I'm happy with what I'm doing. So that's kind of like my stubbornness and like the practice.
That's good to be a little bit stubborn sometimes. It helps.
Last question is, what do you want to say to all the fellow Olympians who you're going to see this summer?
I haven't secured a spot yet, so I don't know if I can go to Paris yet. But, I want to say to them, like, let's make Paris Olympic awesome with our girl power. So let's make that happen.
Thanks for tuning into Flame Bearers.
If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us along on social media for more behind-the-scenes exclusive content on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social platform you are on. Thank you, and stay tuned for our upcoming episode.